Hello. Today I'm going to talk about transforming through pain and grief. How can you deal with emotional and physical trauma? How you grow up can influence how you transform your pain. Where does this internal emotional strength come from? Do you love yourself outside of your ego without attachments? I believe that most pain and trauma and grief comes from a lack of love from parents or a lack of love for yourself. Do you love yourself honestly? I dealt with most of my emotional trauma through almost precisely before being diagnosed with cancer, and thusly, when I was diagnosed with terminal, inoperable brain cancer, I had all the tools ready at my disposal. But not everyone can be so lucky to find the answers, so how do you? Through all of my trauma since 2014, I've learned that honesty and revealing my fears to others, showing my true pain, bearing my soul, allows me to trust in myself, my own abilities to heal, to guide myself to a point where fear, pain, grief, they hold no value. It's just a story that I tell myself. And when you tell yourself a story, you know that it doesn't exist. It's in the past. Or you believe it's in the future. You're no longer a victim of your struggles. You can change it. I've had to change. I've had to adapt. I've had to deal with my emotional and physical trauma in unique ways specific to me, but they are attributable to everyone. I think that everyone can benefit from the wisdom that I've gleaned from 9 years of dealing with my fear of death. I mean, that's the biggest sort of trauma, isn't it? I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It's happening now. What am I going to do? I'm not going to live. They're telling me that I've got this many months to live. What do I do? And back in 2014, when I was diagnosed, I was constantly asking myself why and what I could do. What can I do? Is there anything I can do? Is it possible to survive this? You look on the internet and all you find is negative answers. There's no reasoning. There's no scientifically, it's so cold and cold-hearted, the logic, and you find that there's no answers. But if you delve really deeply, the internet's a wonderful place and there's always an answer somewhere. You just have to be open and trusting. And to be honest, my childhood was one where I was bullied a lot. I was put down. My ego was crushed, basically. Well, my confidence was crushed. There's so many situations where people were trying to bully me, beat me up, force me to do things I didn't want to do just to fit in. And obviously, I realise now that it was my choice to do all these things. It was my experience. It was just what was happening. But one thing that always remained true was that I would always hold my own. I would always fight back. I would always stick up for me. I think that transitioned to when I was diagnosed, when I was told it's glioblastoma multiforme grade 4, terminal brain cancer. I was already like, nah, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to do something. I've got to. And I transformed my fear into a willingness to heal. So if you'd like to learn more about my techniques, if you'd like to join a discussion, I'm going to start doing a podcast. And my first guest hopefully will be Andrew Scarborough. You may have heard of him. He's a long-term low-grade brain tumour survivor, astrocytoma. He is a very intelligent young man like myself. He's been studying medical science. He's doing lots of research into brain tumours and most cancers and how to heal from it. And I think talking to him about his experience of his trauma of dealing with brain cancer would be very revealing from a scientific kind of perspective. Because mine's all emotional, mine's spiritual, mine is all from experience of my past life where I was a different person and how I can transform, how I transformed myself. And I would like to find out how Andrew Scarborough transformed himself. I'm going to be doing a discussion, I think, a six-part series where I talk to people. For example, my wife is going to be one of the guests. I'm going to ask her because I don't fully know the honest truth behind how she dealt with her trauma. I think, from my perspective, she was very, very, very trusting in me. She knew that I was willing to live at all costs, and she backed me up. That's all I needed. Anyway, if you're struggling with grief and trauma of the emotional, physical, because trauma can be physical and emotional and spiritual, but it can be all sorts of things, and it's how we transform it that really matters. I'm going to be exploring how we can transform. So if this appeals to you, please let me know in the comments. If you've got any questions you want answered, please ask them. Looking forward to all your comments. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Lots of love.